Okay, so this is Ringwalk Media in association with Well Ice Therapy and Steel Hub Management. We're very, very lucky this evening to have a young man that's just pretty much won everything in the amateur stakes over in Ireland. He's turned professional. It's really nice to meet you, Paul Loonam.
Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate you taking the time every day to meet me and having this chat.
Of course. Well, listen, it's great to meet you. And for those people over in the UK and anywhere else that's watching that doesn't know you, I don't know where you've been for the last few years in the amateur ranks, but you're a three-time national champion, national elite champion, European bronze medalist, Eindhoven International Box Cup, Haringey Box Cup, Celtic Box Cup, and carry on and carry on. What a brilliant career you've had, mate, as an amateur.
Yeah, I've had loads of fights nationally or in Ireland and internationally. Had probably 150 plus fights, nationally and internationally as well.
Yeah.
So lots of good sparring over in the UK. I've been to London a lot of times. I was sparring former friend Billy Adams. He's just turned pro as well.
Yeah.
So I was sparring with Billy there before the elites, before the last one and the one before that. So yeah, no, look, had a great amateur career. But look, I think my apprenticeship is done and it's time to move on to the pros.
Well, a little bird tells me you were over in Anthony Croller's gym not so long ago, having a few spars.
Yeah, I was in Crawler's gym, so I messaged Crawler and he said, course, come over, see how you like it and kind of see what I think of it and see what he thought of me. So I done a week there and seemed quite pleased with me. I done a bit of sparring over there. I
Yeah,
sparred Rihanna Dixon. She's fighting for a world title. So
she
I done a
is.
bit of sparring with her. But it was a really good gym. But at the minute, it suits me more to stay in Ireland and train out of a gym in Ireland. So I'm training out of Unit 3 in Naas.
Okay.
Gary Cully is from Naas and his coach from the amateurs all the way up. Niall is going to be my coach. So
Listen, it sounds like you've got a great start in the professional career. Now, listen, you're very much of the forefront at the moment over in Ireland because you've signed a management and promotional deal with JB Promotions as well to box on their shows. Tell us how that came about.
um I know a lot of people that's involved in pro boxing in Ireland. So and there's one or two that I trust quite well, one being my coach Niall and another being a cutman that's from Dublin.
Yeah.
He knows Jay a long time. He used to do cutsman for Jay and everyone was kind of sending me in Jay's direction in Ireland. Now, I could have went outside Ireland, I could have went to England, but personally and kind of financially, it suited me best to stay in Ireland at the minute.
Of
Um,
course.
so everyone kind of pointed me in Jay's direction. So I met up with Jay, had a coffee with Jay, and I could just see from the get-go he had big plans for me, and he was kind of a straight shooter. He wasn't. There was no beating around the bush. He was a straight shooter, and I really liked the way Jay is kind of the way he wanted me to go and where he wanted to push me. It was, I think my first fight's going to be a 6 rounder. So I'm going to have a 6 rounder, have a couple of more fights, and then fight for a title and then for the Irish title. So I like Jay's vision with me. It was something that kind of my own vision and Jay's vision just came together as one. And yeah, look, it's a no-brainer. Jay's putting on 10 plus shows a year. And I think he's only going to grow and his promotion stable is only going to get better. And yeah, no, it's really good, and just me and Jay clicked like that, so it was kind of a no-brainer.
Of course, you were at the last event a couple of weeks ago over in the Red Cow and got announced and signed your contract in the ring. That must have been a good moment for you and your family.
Yeah, it was really good. Everyone was quite buzzing. It was only something that came about maybe the week before the show. Jay said it to me because every other fighter to post on the socials and they kind of make it known that way. But he said maybe you come up to the show, you get into the ring, sign the contract in the ring, and I haven't seen many fighters do that. So it was nice to
No.
kind of stand out in a different way, and maybe for people that don't know me to actually see me, and you know, it was a clever move, and it was definitely one that I was delighted to do.
Well, listen, let's talk very quickly about Jay's fights. You mentioned there he's got 10 fights, 10 fight cards a year. It allows you to plan a little bit, doesn't it? Because one of the things in professional boxing, particularly, is not knowing when you're going to be fighting. So it makes camp a little bit harder. It makes making the weight a little bit harder. At least this way, when you're starting your boxing career, you'll be able to sort of gauge the camps, be able to get the nutrition correct, and it gives you a really good start as a professional, doesn't it?
Yeah, it definitely does with the amount of shows he's running. Like when I signed with Jay, he said, I can have you fighting in 4 weeks if you want. And he really wanted me to fight
Yeah,
as soon as possible. But I'm just after getting into a new gym in Unit 3. And we're trying to getting used to my training partners, my new coach. I also have my dad there. He's been there since day one, the amateur.
yeah.
So like it's a new lifestyle. I have to gain a lot of like try to gain sponsorships and I have to approach the pro business. I have to approach the pro sport in kind of business aspect. So I said, look, I won't rush it. I'm still 22, so I take my time with it. But with the amount of shows that he's running, it's brilliant. And as you said, I can. It's a lot easier trying to plan my camps around it. Be good with
Yeah.
my nutrition because I know with Jay, I'm gonna fight this date, and this date, and that will be it for the year, and then push on for next year. So
Yeah.
it's good to kind of have that to know when you're fighting. And
Consistency.
yeah, and Jay wants that consistency within me, and with consistency, it'll only make me better.
And one thing that we've seen, I mean, obviously we know Jay very well and the shows and his vision. But one thing he has done and stuck to is 50-50 fights. There's no poor journeyman at his shows. It really is 50-50 fights. So a boxer of your level that's, been right at the top of the tree in the amateur game, you're going to get tested very, very early on. How do you feel about that?
I obviously feel good about it because more so when you feel like you're going into a 50-50 fight, you can showcase your skills a lot better.
Yeah.
Um, as an amateur, I've always fought guys that were national champions, multiple time national champions. I've
Top
always
level.
fought the top level guys, and that's what's brought the best out of me. So I have no problem fighting guys that think they're on my level. But in Ireland, definitely right now, I don't think anyone has the skills that I possess, and also the IQ that I'll showcase into the ring.
Yeah, and that's really important to get off to a good start, especially if you've got that level and the transitional time from being an amateur to a professional for someone at your level. It's going to be quite quick, I think. Styles will change a little bit, but not a massive amount. If you were a good amateur, they would change quite a lot. But as an elite amateur, you've probably got that professional style half there already, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I was speaking to my coach Niall there about that recently, and he said, "You have your assets. We know what your assets are.
Yeah.
You just have to work around it, change things up a little." But he said, "What makes you good is what's going to make you great in the professional." So I'll have to stick to my bread and butter because it's what I know for years. But making those little adjustments, I've been training with Gary Cully.
Yeah.
He signed with Matchroom, and taking bits out of his game. And there's a couple of other training partners. I'm training with Adon Byrne. He's boxing as an elite amateur as well. And he's out of that gym and even taking bits from his game and just kind of adding it into my own, but thriving on my own assets.
Well, it's all sounding positive, and it's nice to hear that boxers are being given a good platform, with good intentions from the promoters, and you know, I'm sure once you get into that position, you've got a title fight coming up, towards the end of the year, probably. You know, the opportunities will open up into wider areas, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, that's the plan anyway, get a couple of fights, get used to being on the pro
Yeah,
cards because it's different. As an amateur, you just have to make weight, do your camp, make weight, and jump in.
yeah.
But as a pro, it's you have to entertain people. So, you know, get a couple of fights in me. I think Jay has it in the pipeline to fight for a title by the end of the year, which is quite on my cards too. So, look, when me and my team think we're ready, we'll fight for the title. But as of now, a couple of fights, and then I think I'll be ready and to win the title. Yeah.
Now, something that we need to know: what walk-on music are you going to pick? Because that's it's going to stick with you all the way through your pro career. You imagine, headlining at Croke Park and your music's coming on. What are you going to pick?
I really like rap music.
Oh
I like
no,
rap
not another one
and
of
I
them.
like band, but I think there's a lot of people in the sport that kind of do the same thing and don't stand out as much. So I think either for my first walkout or my second walkout, I'm going to do something a bit different. Um, there's a musician that's from my area. He's very good, so I think maybe I'm going to have him walking me out and maybe have my own song made for that.
Oh, I tell you what, big time already, getting your own song made for you.
Yeah, well, that's I. He rang me when he heard the news, and he said, "Congratulations on turning pro." And I said, "His name's David." I said, "David, look, I was thinking about for the walkout music, just doing something a bit different." And he goes, "Right." He said, "I'll start putting pen to paper, and we'll try sort something out." So, look, it'll definitely happen. Maybe not in the first fight, but if not, I'll have the rap music. But look, it's definitely something that's going to happen. Definitely.
Well, listen, as I don't want to keep going back to your amateur career because obviously you are professional now, but what was it like winning that national elite championship last year? Because that really is the pinnacle of amateur boxing, isn't it?
Yeah, it was probably one of the highlights of my career. It was probably the best highlight of my career, maybe apart from winning the European medal. But
Yeah.
it was really good. I had three fights. In the semi-finals, I beat the former elite champion, so he won it the year before. It was also my first elite championship, so I didn't put. There was no expectations on me by anybody else, but me, my dad, and my brother. They were my coaches. We knew that. Look, I've been sparring these guys,
Mm.
and we knew that I was going to win the championship. So the pressure was kind of put on me by me and my coaches, but it was for a reason because we knew that we could win it. It was the first elites. I was only 21, so there wasn't many people kind of looking at me. But yeah, I won the quarters 5-0. I won the semis against the former champion on a 4-1, and then I won the final 5-0. So
Wow.
yeah, it was really, really good. It was probably close to being the top highlight of my career. So yeah, no, look, it was great to step right up to elite boxing and go straight to the top,
And who have your sort of your influences been? Who, which boxer sort of stands out as somebody that you like? Who's your favorite?
Floyd Mayweather has always been my favorite. But as of now, I'd have to say Alexander Usyk.
Oh, so are you in the Usyk camp? Is he going to beat
Yeah,
Tyson?
I don't know. I like both characters. I do like Tyson Fury, but I boxed on it I boxed in Ukraine when I was 15. There was a Ukrainian coach in Ireland brought us to Ukraine.
Okay.
And from there, he was an amateur. I think he was boxing in the WSB. And we watched one of his fights. I think we watched it live in the WSB against Joe Joyce. And he boxed Joe in the
Yes.
WSB. And the minute I seen him, I said, his technician, his IQ, his skill set was kind of played up to kind of my style. So from then I was showing everybody around like this is the man, Usyk is the man. And then he unified the cruiserweight division by beating Breedis.
That's
And
correct.
everyone was saying, geez, you were right about this guy, And since then, just Usyk, I've looked up to Usyk for a big guy. His style translates to so many different weight classes. So yeah, I've looked up to Usyk a lot.
Well, it's not a bad person to look up to. He's not bad, is he?
He's a funny character as well. I like his character. He's funny.
He's
He's quirky.
he's got a very dry sense of humor, and actually he speaks very good English, but kind of plays on that one a little bit.
Yeah, but I think that's his character he's playing on, isn't it?
Well, listen, obviously as a young professional, you've mentioned sponsors there at the beginning. It's not an easy journey. Have you got some sponsorship opportunities at the moment?
A couple in the works. Not in dead set, but it's something that I'm working on. And
So
look, if anyone would like to reach out to me and we could maybe talk, I'll drop my socials on this post, and yeah, just feel free to DM me and we can chat about that.
yeah, and obviously being a top amateur over in Ireland, I'm sure you have a nice following of people that are going to come and watch you and make it nice and quiet and on your debut. Have you got quite a few people coming over to see you?
Yeah, definitely on my debut now. The debut hasn't been confirmed, but I'd say in the next week or two it'll be confirmed. But I know there's going to be a huge fan base there. Where I live, it's only a small village, but the whole village backs me, and I have a big family as well. So I know the place, wherever it'll be, will be rocking for my debut.
Well, listen, it's sounding all really, really positive. I'm for one looking forward to seeing you box as well. I think it's going to be good to see a top class amateur enter into the professional ranks. I really like what JB Promotions are doing with their boxers. both new and experienced. You know, there's some experienced lads boxing on the cards as well. And I like the fact that the fights are 50-50 no matter where you are in your career, because obviously it shows the level you're at and they're learning fights as well. As much as you have been a brilliant amateur, you are a 0-0 professional. So it's going to be really good to see your skill sets and learn, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward. Like with Jay and his shows, he puts on a great show, and you need them good top level fights to have good shows, and that's what he's showcased in his last couple of shows. So look, I'm looking forward to getting in. I'm undefeated. I'm 0-0. But look, I'm looking forward to getting in and just showcasing my skills. And obviously there will be a lot of learning to do because it is a different sport compared to the amateur boxing. But look, I'm like a sponge. I'm going to soak it all up and I'm going to learn. And look, I feel like I'm going to go to the top.
Well, listen, congratulations on turning professional. Congratulations on signing over with JB Promotions. It sounds like it's the right move for you, and we're certainly looking forward to your debut fight and fights after that, because obviously we'll get to see more and more of your skill sets as you box, and hopefully you'll get to that title fight towards the end of the year.
Yeah. Thanks very much for having me. I really appreciate you for taking the time every day to have me here. And look, I'm looking forward to my pro debut. And for anyone that doesn't know me, I'm sure in the next coming years, you'll definitely will know me.
Well, listen, anyone who's watching this, give him a follow. The Boxer Loonam 7. And
So,
keep your eyes open for his debut tickets, because they'll all be over social media on JB Promotions and on his own, I'm sure. And
yeah.
get yourself over to Ireland if you're not in Ireland. Come and watch the show, and it's going to be a great occasion, a good debut, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
we're looking forward to it, mate.
Thanks very much. Really appreciate that. Cheers.
Thanks very much for speaking to us.
Thank you.